Hey, everybody, welcome to season 2, the deep dive on Landman that nobody fucking asked for. We're back, we're on the rag and vindicated, or whatever the Eminem line is. All right, here's how we have to start this. I was thinking about this. I hearken back to Animal House. Wormer, he's a dead man. Marmalade, dead. Niedermeyer, dead. Monty is dead. Confirmed from series 1, he died on the in the hospital bed. Gates kick us off. What does that mean?
I was surprised they didn't really have any type of funeral scene or any type of remembrance. They just jumped straight into the action, and I think that having everything set up at the end of season 1 for moving whatever the attorney's name is up to like VP of operations, and then having Tommy moving up to president, they kind of foreshadowed all of that. But having Demi come in and be calling the shots, I think is a little scary.
I'm wildly kind of like turned on by it, to tell you the truth. But anyway, Matt, what did you think?
I thought the show started out great. It obviously tailed off in the end, and we'll discuss that at length because the warden has some comments on that as well. But yeah, I mean, she came in with some gusto. She came in without reading a script, just firing off of emotion, and gave me a little bit of confidence with her as, trying to run this enterprise. So yeah, let's get after it.
All right, Boar, opening scene or opening sequence, if you will, kind of Demi Moore organizing the lunch. What did you think?
Well, first of all, the episode was a full turn on, the entire thing for me. Demi was sexy, just coming in, taking charge. And then, I know there are parts of the end that I absolutely hated, but it's like that meme where I have the weirdest boner right now. That's exactly how I felt at the beginning and at the end of this show. I loved her revenge on those two little sluts in the bathroom. I thought that was amazing. And then her speech was badass. She just warned everyone, and everyone had this like very awkward applause at the end of it. And I thought it was badass.
Everybody knows the infatuation I have with Demi Moore. It's been that way since Striptease. Sorry, full stop. I do appreciate the two girls in the bathroom, and the line is, my man is going to get the blowjob of his life on the flight to Cancun, and I'm getting a condo in Dallas and a Bentley. It was, as we're moving Wall Street from New York City down to Dallas and having Y'all Street, there you go, New York City. That's what you have to look for.
I thought that scene in the bathroom with the whole this is a young girl's game now and everything, I understand it to like get Demi kind of fired up and how they linked everything in there, but that was coming on pretty strong right out the gate.
I thought so too. So Matt, my question is, you're sitting there watching kind of that scene with the warden. Does she have a comment there, or does the commentary come in later?
No comments really there. The comments come in towards the finale, I guess.
So one of my favorite clips from the Family Feud is when the two husbands are up there, and the question is, which one of Snow White and the dwarves is your wife in bed? And both husbands like, I'm not going to answer. That's what Matt just did to us. Well done, well respected. Maybe Jacob will just edit this out. The warden doesn't need to see this.
So Demi's speech, though, when she is talking about what she's going to be doing, I just wish that they got a few people to be maybe technical advisors on something like that, because threatening to underbid leases and consolidate pipeline supplies and buy bad debt, I don't really know that those are sound strategies for running an oil company. And all of those things, they may sound great if you have no idea about how oil companies are run, but anybody that's actually got a background in this industry hears stuff like that, and it's like, not so sure that's something you really want to threaten people with.
I think we got to look over that a little bit. I mean, she's the head honcho. She can say whatever sort of crazy statement she wants. Where I really think there was some interesting talk was when Tommy was talking to one of the investors and telling him like, oh, the investors telling him, we only did this not because of you, but because of who owned this asset before. And Tommy's like, well, I already own the assets, and whether or not the farm out really was earned at that point, he said he'd done 16 workovers and he's got 6 wells drilled. So you got to come take it off me. So I thought there was some good deal talk in there. I felt like that maybe would have been a little bit more constructive than what maybe had been said by Demi. I mean, give her a break. She's just getting into the nuts and bolts of deal making here. I mean, we got to be fair, right?
The thing I liked about that scene is that scene actually felt somewhat realistic, the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I love how Tommy ended it. And I've actually heard a paraphrase of this in a deal. Why don't you just go ahead and lawyer up, big boy, if you want to?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, the other thing that I appreciated about the opening scene was he basically sold off East Texas, you know, if you notice that.
Yeah.
And I love the line of, I don't go to East Texas because the mosquitoes over there are so big they can fuck a turkey flat-footed. I thought that was just great. And the guy goes,
I'll be using that one a lot.
Yeah, the guy goes, $400 million. And he goes, sold, it's yours. Go buy some bug spray.
Yeah, that was great.
The one thing we didn't mention from the opening scene is it was talking about how it was very subtle. It was in the back. It said natural gas is up to 428 in the Permian. And you kind of got a little tear in the eye of, oh, yeah, those were the good old days.
I definitely have a tear in the eye for sure when you're staring at wall all the time.
All right, Board, take us to Cooper and drilling his well. What did you think about that scene?
I'll be honest, I rushed through it a little bit, but I did see, you know, they got down to like 5,800 feet and they were waiting for, you know, the pressure. But I was wondering what they were drilling, like Cherry Canyon, Bell Canyon, Brushy. I forgot where they are. Did he say it was Culberson back last season? Do you guys remember? I can't remember where he claimed to be, or did they address that at all?
It was this like made up part of the Permian Basin from what I remember from the maps. So I can't remember. I want to say maybe in like Central Basin is kind of where it sprung up.
I loved his math on everything, though, that he was like, hey, we're going to be making
no op cost,
$10 million
no
a year. Yeah. There's no cost for drilling, no cost for production, no transport or anything. Like, hell yeah.
No cost for
That's
satisfying
awesome,
debt. Where did he get the money? I forgot.
He used the life insurance policy, I think.
Was that what it was? Is that where he got the money to drill that? I guess, you know, to buy the leases.
Remember the payout from MTEX when he said, I want $1 million?
That whole line about I did it for us doesn't sound that romantic anymore, does it?
Can I just, I mean, the operational reality of that whole situation was kind of hilarious. Cooper just happens to look over at the pressure gauge and notice that he's kind of in this like elevated pressure level up to 7,000 PSI. And it's like, that's it. We found the well, like right here is where you stop. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, he's talking about making $30,000 a day for, you know, the whole year, $10 million. So I thought that was kind of
man, that's Chesapeake math.
He said for 2 years before we even have to put a pump on it.
Oh yeah, the well has no LOEs and no decline at all, and you can tell by your pressure and how many units of gas is how rich you're going to be for the rest of your life. That is like Chesapeake, early late '90s math if I've ever seen it.
But guys, remember, he was a year away from graduating with a geology degree, so he's a dreamer,
Well, hey, Matt, in all fairness, why don't you just walk the audience through what it's really like drilling a well? Because they made it seem like you're just drilling a vertical, you tap into pressure, and boom, Walk us through drilling a horizontal, fracking, flow back, all that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got, let's just take a simple 2 mile horizontal well, and I'll obviously be cutting off things here just because I'm a landman. But, you drill 2 miles down, then you drill 2 miles across. But, there's precision ongoing as to how you drill 2 miles down. You've got, various, various levels of casing in the hole. You're building hole, and then you get to the kickoff point, which is where you go horizontal, and from there you bring your geosteer in, and he's steering the well all the way through the horizon, and having to keep a finger on that. And then let's say after the completion crew rigs up and we've cased the well, then at that point in time you start completing the well, or fracking the well, if you will, by sending hundreds of thousands of gallons of water into the hole, and basically exploding it into various parts of the wellbore. And then you basically plug off those perfs. And at some point, after the whole lateral has been completed, you let the well flow. And for a while you may get some oil early, but for the most time it's flow back water. And then, you've got oil. So you're looking at a 30-second piece of that video, or of that show, I think has probably taken 30 days in some instances.
Little dramatic license.
Yeah.
Hey, Boar, when was the last time you took a baby out to a rig in a baby carrier, and what level of OSHA violation is that?
I'm not sure I should be answering questions about
what babies I took and whose babies I took out to the rig and whatever. But that was a bit funny. I guess we're having fun nitpicking it. As remember, Wampum Mining had a good tweet. It was like, Landman is so freaking good. Stop nitpicking it. There's a show where the oil man is the hero. Enjoy it. He's right. I mean, it makes it look too simplistic and and it's ridiculous. But if you think about it too, he like explaining that when I'm in New York and people ask me what I do and they ask me how all this shit works, and their eyes just glaze over after like 20 seconds. So like that's probably as good as we can do, showing.
Start telling them I dig wells.
And so
I'm a well digger.
Yeah, right. But I thought it was. I guess the point was there. He got some leases, found some money the unconventional way, and the dream happened to him. And the numbers are way off. The process was way off, but the idea is there, and he's successful. And we're going to see what happens, in the rest of the show with this $10 million a year, that he is starting to make, and he's got several more to drill that he's obviously not going to miss.
And I like your point on that because, when we had the shale revolution, we got so good at producing oil, we cratered the price and we all lost a lot of money there. And the way we went about financing it going forward and practicing our discipline is we tried to make it lower risk. We all went out and said, we buy production, we hedge the production, and we lock in a return. And I think that was exactly the wrong thing to do, because we used to raise a lot of money in this industry selling sex appeal, because it is fucking hot to hit a big well. I mean, you go have a boomer. I mean, back in the day when you could find a big old boomer log and you knew you had just hit the mother lode and you get that gauge spinning and all that good stuff. That's a lot of fun. And so I think you're right. Yeah, he took 30 days, made it 30 seconds on a TV show, but it is the most fun you can do without your clothes on.
Yeah. Well, one part I really related to was when I forgot his girlfriend, Cooper's girlfriend's name. But they were on site and he explained to her, "Oh, we've had a big success. You need to come to." So he takes her to the well site with the baby. He explains to her, "We've had a great day, and this is kind of what happened." And she's like, "Oh, that's good. I'm really excited for you. That's great." And then the guy walks by with the hard hat. He goes, "She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it because." And my wife is not, obviously in this industry. She doesn't understand. I'll go home and be proud of some deal I did or whatever, and it's not her fault. She doesn't understand it whatsoever. I try to explain it to her, but it can be like one of the best deals of my life, and she'll go, "Oh, that's good. That's good. What's for dinner?" And there's like no one there to explain to her. You don't get it. This is a big deal. This is like we're gonna do well with this, and so I just go, okay, I guess pasta or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. With a little bit of truffle on it. A $2,600 fungi or whatever.
Fuck me.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, Matt, we're going to TCU's campus. Lay out that scene. What are you thinking with mom and daughter walking across TCU?
Yeah. So let me I'm going to drop in some Warden commentary. She is not a big fan of mom and daughter. She just thinks the acting is so pathetic.
It's bad.
But let's get back to the question at hand. I did like the dichotomy that was raised of the private school of Texas and the public school of Texas, and Tommy had some issue with that too because he could have paid half as much for public school, but
in-state tuition.
Yeah, in-state tuition.
I think half is being a little generous there.
Yeah,
I think it's more than that.
I think so too. But the stereotype was pretty favorably on point, I guess, until she got into a guidance counselor's office. And
admissions counselor or whatever.
Counselor, and she was like, the admissions counselor was pretty stuffy and had nothing to do with her, but she had this privileged walk-on status or whatever it was called. So
as a cheerleader, that's right. Like the most Texas thing about this whole episode is that you can have privileged status. I was ready for her to say, well, Monty wanted you in. That was his dying wish. No, you're a cheerleader. You can come in.
They should have said something about Monty there.
I thought that whole exchange was pretty comical. So I definitely was a good part of the show.
It was funny. It was funny when she is like, it's real cringy. The warden is totally right. Everything about Ainsley and the mom, Allie, I hate to say it, but is really cringy. And but I loved, she didn't know what the fuck that counselor was saying when that counselor said any words that were like more than 4 or 5 letters. And then on the way out, she was like, "Oh, thank you so much, Gretel." She said, "My name's Greta." She, I don't know who I hated more, really. It was the shit-lib counselor or fucking dumbass Ainsley.
What was it about precipitation check? You wrote that one
down. Precipitated. Hadn't rained here since I got here or whatever. The other great line, and it kind of snuck up on me. She goes, I see you've been studying abroad. Yes, ma'am. I went to Midland. No, I loved the utter disgust that the guidance or the admissions counselor is showing her, and calls her an abysmal candidate. And Ainsley's, well, I'm just a hugger. And the guidance counselor, oh, let's not. That was too good. Plus, there was the whole undertone of whether a horned frog is a frog or a lizard.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that was good stuff. All right. So now we're jumping forward to kind of back to Tommy and Demi Moore. And I love this line. Tommy looks at Demi and says, all the shitty deals are coming to you. All the good deals are coming to me.
I'm a little worried about Demi. She was trying to say, well, if I don't listen to this stuff, how am I going to learn? And, Tommy's point was anytime somebody calls you and starts talking, don't even listen to the pitch. Just tell them to call me. And so I kind of feel like Demi's prime for screwing a couple of things up this season, making life a little more difficult for Tommy because she really wants to be involved in the action and know what's going on. And Tommy was trying to tell her, hey, I'm going to run this thing the way it needs to be run. Just stay out of the way. And she was pushing back a little bit on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tommy, the answer is like, she was like, well, how am I going to learn? And Tommy's like, oh, I'll just shut up. I'll take care of it, essentially. And I was like, well, maybe the answer is we get on those calls together or we go to those meetings together. It's not just send it to me.
Yeah. No, I do think we're being set up there. And my mind flashed, and I don't know why, but we'll foreshadow a little bit. Andy Garcia and Demi Moore kind of getting together. That I don't know that that's going to happen, but that's what I kind of saw in that scene.
There could be some cozying up, and Andy Garcia may explain the facts of life to Demi, and that may be a totally different situation than the way that Tommy understands the world. So,
yes, exactly, because she does like her boss men. So, all right. Tommy jumps on the Gulf Stream, flies back to Midland. I'm going to be there in an hour. And then I'm going to totally withhold any commentary until the end on the next scene. But Sam Shepard shows up. So Gates, what do you think happened there? What was your take there?
I mean, are you talking about the sunset?
The sunset, yeah.
So isn't that Sam Elliott?
Oh, sorry, Sam Elliott. Yeah, I went to the American playwright Sam Shepard. Sorry, Sam Elliott.
I was like, wait, maybe we're talking about a different scene. I love Sam Elliott. He's been entertaining in pretty much everything he's been in, at least for the last couple of years. And that sunset scene, I mean, I kind of do understand and empathize with getting older and all of that. We went through that with my wife's grandparents, and sitting there in a, I guess retirement community that looks really, really fucking run down. Who knows where that's supposed to be set, but I do understand that he wants to do things his way and all of that. And the argument he has with the orderly, the chick that's out there originally with him, it kind of sets the tone for his attitude on life. And, shut up, I'm going to do things my way. And I've made it this far, so I don't really care that dinner's at 6:30. I'm going to watch the sunset. And I'm going to explain the facts of life to you that the sun's going to set a little bit later until I think he said like June 21st or something. And then it's going to start setting a little earlier. And I have no control over that. And I totally understand that mentality. When the guy comes out and says, your wife passed away and everything, like, that's kind of a rough moment right there.
Yeah. What'd you think of that scene, Matt?
Yeah, I was trying to piece that together as to what the significance was of it. And then towards the end of the show, I guess we got kind of the indication that his mom died. And so I was like, oh, well, we're putting that scene together. And all of a sudden we've got Sam as Tommy's dad. It's just, the scene I think we talked about is definitely has some metaphorical imagery as to what the meaning is. But I think more so I got to thinking of how is he going to play in a role in this? Chuck, have you given that any thought? Because I really haven't.
So I'm going to let Boar go before I drop on y'all what I was thinking that whole scene. Boar, any comments on that scene?
Maybe y'all already said this. I'm sorry I had to jump for just a second, but couldn't that orderly give him 2 fucking minutes to watch the sunset. Like I just wanted to slap her. That's all. That's my only comment there. Is I really hated her. Maybe as much as the fucking lawyer in that moment, the female lawyer. I can't remember her name.
So all I could think of that whole scene, and it's a weird scene, right? It's kind of, I think we kind of have this drama, this slight comedy, all this. And this goes weirdly philosophical, sunset, overwrought, dramatic. And all I could think of is they found the one actor out there goofy enough to actually be Cooper's grandfather. I mean, as ugly as Cooper is and as goofy looking as he is, I was like, holy shit, it skips generations. Not that Billy Bob's the best looking dude on the planet, but he did pull Angelina Jolie. But if you sat there, that's all I could think of is, holy shit, they really are related.
Yeah, I mean they're all goofier than run over dogs. All of them, all three of them are kind of goofy,
Yes.
but especially Cooper and Sam.
Given that the three of y'all are all married, and I'm the only single person kind of on the telecast, everything that the three of y'all say about the last scene and dinner is stuff I told you to say. So you can just go ahead and tell your wives that. So, so Boar, why don't you go ahead? Take us to dinner.
Well, I mean, it's no secret that I've already said that there were things that were really a lot of fun about that one for me. And I, earlier on in our marriage, we both had some volatilities, and maybe we've seen a little bit of that, not quite that, but Angela went up and down, happy, sad, horny, not horny, it like 4 or 5 times in less than 5 minutes, which was incredible. Like I was very impressed. And I love that, Cooper just absconded out of there. He's seen it 100 times. He's like, I'll call you next week. Dad's like, all right, sounds good. Under the table.
Sounds good, son. and then the beauty, the subtle thing is he walks right past Mom. Love you, Mom. Or see you, Mom.
He's seen it 100 times, and she's seen him see it 100 times. They have all been in this whole fucking thing before, including the other lawyer there, and then what's his
best friend, the Hand.
They've all seen it. No one's surprised in the least bit.
That was so good. All right, Matt, lay our take on it, or lay your take on it, and want to hear the warden's take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's deja vu. We've been through this scene before. The only difference, I think, is there's just a bunch of TCU stuff across the house. But yeah, same thing again. I get we're trying to probably humanize some situations and whatnot, but man, what a bad way to end the episode. Like we were making some great movement through the narrative, and Sam Elliott coming forward, like he's going to be a part of the show, and then boom, we just have this massive breakdown, a repeat kind of disaster at dinner again. And I don't know. Warden said again, why so bad? That's what her comments were.
I loved Tommy's line in there. Every 28 days, she's normal.
It was more entertaining than a lawnmower montage. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
God, I must just sick of all that like B-roll shit. Like I just hit the 10-second button through all that bullshit.
Yeah, and the run of great lines she had that came from your Neanderthal sperm. I mean, that was pretty good. And the other line of hers I loved was, "Those aliens won't need a zoo; they'll see me from space."
I loved, honey. I don't think home decisions should be. This is where she lost her shit, by the way. This comment, because she was talking about buying a house. I don't think home decisions should be committed during the arch of your cycle.
Oh, that was great. That was great. The other thing that I just loved in that scene was he's down on the ground, almost kind of cowering in fear. She's throwing plates, and looks up and says, "Sweetie, the way the sweat is glistening on your chest makes your tits look just perfect." And her line about how do you have the way of saying the perfect thing that keeps me from killing you? And he's just, it's a gift.
I mean, that's what, the things that piss her off and the things that bring her back are so fickle and stupid. It's amazing.
I will say this in defense of all women, because it's really hard to defend our species if we're being honest about it. I did like her take of, hey, I can't control my hormones, and you know that. You sure as hell can control whether you point that out or not. And him saying, "Oh yeah, that is a fresh perspective on this situation," I thought was pretty good.
He was just appeasing her because my argument would immediately be, yes, I agree with you. I can control when I point them out. You also can control throwing a fucking plate across the room. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, Boar.
But I don't have Billy Bob's gift.
Yeah, I was about to say it was great doing this podcast with you. I guess we won't see you next time.
I'm getting scalped.
All right. So Gates, give us I'm gonna go around the horn here and kind of get a closing thought. Give us kind of a closing thought. I guess we alluded to it early, but obviously Tommy's mother died. Give us a thought. Where are we going? Take it anywhere you want.
I'm excited to see what Demi is going to do running an oil company. And I'm afraid that she's going to do a little bit more running an oil company than what people should be doing in a situation like that, which I think is more playing in the background and being a supporting role. But at the same time, I'm very excited to see where that goes. And with Cooper and his new success as a wildcatter, that's going to be fun to watch also. The female drama seems to have ticked up a little bit from last season. It was overdone last season, and they're just playing even harder into that right now. But I'm kind of also wondering, where's the attorney in all of this? And I don't think we saw anything about her or heard anything about her. So got a lot of questions, and it was a very entertaining first episode. But I think there was a lot that was included in there that maybe didn't need to be necessarily included.
All right, Matt, give us kind of a final thought, preview, wherever you want to take it.
Man, I'm just excited because we have so much runway, and like there's a lot of momentum. Like I'm hearing people say like, "Oh, I can't wait to watch Landman. It's my favorite show." And like, I don't know, I think that's just really cool. They've done a lot to give some personality to this industry, and I think they've done a fair job with it. So I'm excited with what's to come. I think Demi's gonna take it off from here and kick ass, and it's all gonna be fun to watch. But I don't want to make too many predictions as to what's coming, because I do have some wild thoughts in my head.
I thought you were a betting man.
Or what's kind of a final thought from you?
Well, I agree with Tui. There's so much buzz around the show, and Josh Pollard actually had a really good tweet about that. That it's bringing a attention to the industry and things like that. Pretty insightful tweet he had that kind of blew up. It's just a big setup. We're going to see Andy Garcia. We're going to see that horrible attorney girl. Maybe she died, hopefully, or whatever. But we're going to see her. We're going to see Cooper's career. There's so many different, and also we're going to see the cartels again. There's so many different channels of this show, so many offshoots that are going to happen. It's going to be really exciting, and in typical Taylor Sheridan, it's just going to ramp up, and I think we'll have pretty action-packed episodes, or at least substantive episodes coming up real soon. And Demi Moore, I think, as a badass, is going to be exciting for me.
Season 2, the body count, I think, is only 1 so far, right? So that's going to definitely be ticking up, I think.
Yeah, and it seemed to be natural causes, and it wasn't out on a rig, so that's a real
Right.
improvement, I think. I agree with everything you guys said. I'm pumped up about it. The one thing I don't think this podcast spent enough time on, but we'll just let it go. I don't believe the most unrealistic thing in this whole episode was that there's a $2,800 truffle in the HEB in Midland, fucking Texas. The only way that could have been more ridiculous if she had driven to Odessa to get it. I think.
Well, she said it was Central Market, and so I'm assuming that it was like in Fort Worth.
Fort
Did she say
Worth.
Central? I don't. And
Yeah.
you know, there's Marketplace in Midland, and they don't have the truffle. I promise. But maybe she took it over in the Gulf Stream, which is ridiculous that 3 people flew in the Gulf Stream anyway. But whatever. Digress.
Love it. Well, guys, the best thing about this is getting to hang with you guys again once a week for the foreseeable future. This is always the most fun thing I get to do all week. So love you guys.
Here.
Glad we're back.
We're back, baby.
Good to be back.
See you guys.
Welcome to the oil business.
In the land of the Landman, where the drama's high, there are mountain series just reach for the sky. The actors are flawed, the twists were bold, but the plot got holes and got us feeling cold. Landman over the side, their logic seems to take a flight. Bury the lawyer with a secret agenda, the schemes and the betrayals will chill the offender. Jack the detective solving crimes with theories, but in reality he's just planting trees. Landman, oh what a sight, when reason and logic seem to take it alive. Laughing and plot twist while it's quite a spree. Oh Landman, what a parody. Fans so up, with hopes so high, that's the episode. They went by and all the cliches grew, turning Landman into a comedic brew. Laughing and plot twist till quite a spree. Oh Landman, what a parody. Here's Landman with all its flaws, bringing us laughter and many good falls. A parody of itself, a show to see.